not been able to sleep, overheard the conversation between their father and their wicked stepmother.
It's all over for us. Do be quiet, girl. Do not fret. I will manage something.
And he did. When everyone had gone to sleep, Hansel got up, put on his little coat, and stepped out into the moonlit night. The moon was shining brightly, and the white pieces of flint that lay in front of the house shined as if they were pieces of silver. Hansel quickly filled his pockets and returned inside.
Be easy, dear little sister, and go to sleep quietly. All will be well.
The following morning, the children awoke to the sound of their stepmother's voice.
Get up, you lazy bones! We are going to the forest to cut wood.
She gave them each a piece of bread, saying,
This is for dinner. You must not eat before then. You will get no more.
when they were all unpacked, the forced them into the forest to cut some wood. When they had gone a little ways, Hansel stood still and looked backwards in the direction of the house. They seated again and again until his father asked,
Hansel, what are you looking at? Take care not to forget your legs.
I am looking at my little kitten, who is sitting on the roof to bid me goodbye. You young fool, that is no kitten, but the sunshine on the chimney pot.
Of course, Hansel had not been looking at his kitten, but rather stopping along the way and got pieces of flint from his pocket to the floor beneath his feet. When they had reached the middle of the forest, their father told them to collect some wood to make a fire.
Now, lie down by the fire and rest yourself. We will go cut wood, and when we are ready to go home, we will come fetch you.
So Hansel and Gretel sat by the fire. At noon, they ate their pieces of bread. After staying long in the forest, the two children's eyes closed wearily, and they fell fast asleep. When at last they awoke, it was dark, and Gretel began to cry.
Hansel, it was just as you said. They have left us here. How will we ever get out of this wood? We will wait a little while longer. When the moon rises high into the sky, we will be able to find our way home.
When the moon was highest in the night sky, the two children followed the path of flint back to their house. When they arrived, they knocked on the door and were met by their wicked stepmother.
You naughty children! Why did you sleep so long in the wood? We thought you were never coming home.
Their father, on the other hand, was delighted to find that his children had found their way home. Days, weeks, and months passed, and once again, a great scarcity plagued the small town in which the family lived.
Husband, what are we going to do? Everything is finished up. We only have half loaf of bread left. After that, our tale comes to an end. The children must be off. We must take them even deeper into the forest. They will not be able to find their way home.
It would be better to share one last meal with the children than to...
Enough! Tomorrow, they go.
As before, the children, who were not asleep, overheard the conversation between their parents. When their parents had gone to bed, Hansel got up and proceeded to go gather more pieces of flint. Only this time, the door was locked, and Hansel could not escape.
The door is locked. Now what am I going to do? I couldn't possibly climb out the window. What's wrong, Hansel? Nothing. Go back to bed. Everything will be fine. At least I hope everything will be fine.
eat his bread, or rather crumpled it up in his pocket, would often stop to throw it onto the floor.
Hansel, what are you stopping for?
I was looking at my little pigeon who's sitting on the roof saying goodbye to me.
You fool. That is no pigeon, but the morning sun shining on the chimney pots. Come, let's away.
The woman led the children into the forest, deeper than they had ever gone before. There, they built a fire and made camp.
Sit here, children. When you are tired, you may go to sleep. And when evening approaches and we are ready to go home, we will come fetch you.
Farewell, children.
Children sat patiently, waiting for their family to return. But as evening approached, once again, the two children fell fast asleep. When at last they awoke, it was dark.
Hansel, I'm scared. Wait a while longer, Gretel. When the moon rises high in the night sky, we will be able to find our way home. But how? I crumbled up pieces of bread in my pocket and scattered the crumbs along the path. I knew you'd think of something.
The children sat patiently, waiting for the moon to rise higher into the night sky. A few hours later, it was time for the children to set off on their journey home.
Hansel, where are the breadcrumbs? I don't know. They were here earlier. The birds and small animals must have eaten the crumbs while we were asleep. Don't worry. I don't think it's safe.
The children traveled all night long, heading deeper and deeper into the forest. And as they did, they became terribly hungry. At about noon the following day, two children noticed a small snowy bird flying about.
Gretel, look! A bird! Maybe he will be able to lead us to some food.
The children followed the bird even deeper into the forest until they came upon a small house.
Look! A house! Who just put this back? I don't know. But surely they'll have something we can eat.
Hansel, look. This is no ordinary house made out of wood and straw.
Gretel, you're right. This house is made entirely of bread. And look, the roof is made of tape, and the windows of transparent shutter. We will have some of this and have a fine meal. I will have some of the roof, Gretel, and you can have some of the window. That will be sweet.
So Hansel reached up and broke off a piece of the roof just to see how it tastes, while Gretel stood and gnawed at the window. As they were eating, they heard a voice call from inside.
Nibble, nibble like a mouse. Who's nibbling at my house? Who is that?
Never mind. It is the wind? Yes, it's the wind.
And the children went on eating, never disturbing themselves. Then, the door to the house swung open, and an aged woman came out.
Ah, my dear children, how came you here? You must come inside the same door for me. I plan to eat, you'll be no trouble at all. Now tell me, what are your names?
My name is Hansel, and mine's Gretel.
Come, Hansel, come, Gretel.
The old woman took them inside.
Now I have them. They shall not escape.
Inside, Hansel and Gretel found a meal laid out complete with milk, pancakes, apples, and nuts. They ate their fill, and two children were led by the old woman to two little white beds. There they laid themselves upon the beds and fell fast asleep. Although the old woman appeared to be nice, in fact, she was a wicked old witch who lay in wait for children. She made her house out of candy and sweets to entice the children, and when she had them inside, she'd make a delicious meal out of them.
Get up. We have work to do. What a fine feast I shall have.
Hansel, did you hear that? We are going to have a feast.
Fools, this I alone should be having a feast. You boy, off to the station.
Hansel, let me go.
The old woman led Hansel to the stables where he left him there. When she returned, she found Gretel crying on the floor.
Get lazy bones, fetch us some water and cook something nice for your brother. He's outside locked in the stable. He needs to be fattened up. When he is fattened up, I will eat him.
who had a very weak eye, would often mistake it for the child's thin figure.
Still too thin.
4 weeks passed, and Hansel was still thin as rail. One morning, the old woman lost all patience and could not wait no longer.
Cat, so whether Hansel shall be fat or thin, I shall cook him tomorrow.
No, please, just let us go.
Quiet!
At least we've been eaten by wild beasts. We wouldn't be here with you, you crazy old.
Spare me limitations, they're no avail. No one's up to bed without supper for food. You'll need rest for tomorrow's feast.
Early the next morning, Gretel arose to make a fire.
First we will do the baking. I've already heated the oven and kneaded the dough.
Creep inside to see if the oven is properly hot so we can get it baked.
But Gretel, fully realizing the witch's intention to push her into the oven, had another idea.
How do I do it? I do not know how to do it. How should I get in?
Stupid goose.
Cried the old woman.
The opening is big enough, can't you see? I myself can get in.
The old woman stooped down and placed her head into the oven. As soon as she did so, Gretel gave her a push so that she went further in. Gretel closed the door behind her, the oven door, and quickly ran to release Hansel.
Hansel, we are free. Your witch is dead. Come, Gretel, let's return home. But first, let's fill our pockets for the wicked witch's precious pearls and stones. Chests of them are located in every corner of the house.
The children, who had no longer anything to fear, returned to the witch's house, where they filled their pockets with a fine array of jewels and stones.
This is something even better than Flintstones. Now away we go. If only we could find our way out of the witch's wood.
The children journeyed through the woods, obtaining various help from magical creatures that inhabited the brush, swamp, and trees. So at last they saw in the distance their father's house.
Hansel, look, home. Fresh air, no fun.
When the children arrived home, it was their father that knocked about the door.
Children, my sweet children, I should never have left you in the woods. I'm so sorry. Can you ever forgive me?
We forgive you, but where is Mom?
She is gone. She can never divide this family again. We will be together forever.
Oh, look, we returned homeward.
By Joseph, it's still the witch's wood.
A witch's hut.
She lived in a house made of candy sweet, deep in the wood.
She tried to eat Hansel.
Eat Hansel. My, you two certainly have an active imagination. Come inside and tell me all about your adventures. Welcome home, children.
With their stepmother now gone, and the children safe at home